We are living in an era where everyone is a judge, but almost no one is a creator. If you look closely at the internet today, you'll realize that the vast majority of what we consume isn't actually content. It's just people cannibalizing the work of others. We have built a culture that rewards the parasite and punishes the pioneer. And the worst part? We've been brainwashed into believing that this is exactly how society is supposed to work. Everything in this world is dual. There is the facade and there is the inside. Human culture is no exception. From the moment we are born, society begins injecting us with an insidious idea. The majority is always right. We are taught to conform, to absorb the opinions of the masses, and to suppress our own podline, our own authentic, raw thought. Whenever you try to step out of line, a chorus of voices chimes in, telling you how things work. They replace your genuine perception of reality with a synthetic one. They replace your happiness with the happiness of the system. The internet was supposed to democratize art. Instead, it democratized noise. Right now, across the web, instead of generating unique content, people are sucking the life out of existing art. They aren't creating, they are reacting. They force their worthless, unoriginal opinions on top of someone else's hard work. They slap their face in the corner of a video, stretch a 10-minute clip into a 20-minute reaction, and call themselves creators. They provide no insight, no elevation, and no craft. They are merely adding a layer of static to a signal they barely understand. If people want to make reaction videos, fine. The universe is diverse, and there is a place for everything. But the real tragedy the moment this system becomes deeply toxic is when these people cross the line from consumers to judges. Imagine a microscopic media molecule. Someone who has never built anything, never taken a risk, never spent sleepless nights staring at a blank timeline or an empty page. Suddenly, this molecule decides that it has the divine right not just to have an opinion, but to cast a verdict. This is a profound delusion. The vast majority of internet critics have absolutely no right to grade or assess true art. When you judge something, you must be plastic. You must be fluid. If you approach art with the rigid, inflexible mindset of a Supreme Court judge, you aren't analyzing. You are just projecting your own ignorance. To truly evaluate something, you have to transition from being a passive consumer to an empathetic observer. A critic should be an architect of meaning, not an arsonist of intent. You have to try to understand why a creator made those choices. You look at it not to destroy it, but to elevate your own understanding. Reactions exist just for the sake of getting a reaction. It's a closed, cynical loop, an infinite recursion of look at me, looking at you, looking at nothing. So, why do we create at all? Why do real creators keep making things? Because reality in its natural state is chaotic. It is harsh, terrifying, and fundamentally indifferent to us. It is an abyss that stares back, asking for a purpose that it will never provide. We, as humans, cannot tolerate the raw, unfiltered nature of the universe. So, we build a dome. Culture is that dome. True creators, the philosophers, the artists, the outcasts look into the abyss of this chaotic reality. They take the most horrifying, messy parts of it and they forge it into a system. They build a synthetic sanctuary. Culture is a massive coping mechanism. It is constructed to protect us from the ugly parts of existence, allowing us to survive mentally. And because the people who built this culture were trying to escape the darkest parts of reality, they inherently made culture somewhat hypocritical. It's an ecosystem built to manage the herd. Here is the uncomfortable truth. We are all part of the herd. It doesn't matter how independent or unique you think you are. You cannot control every vector of your life. You might be a brilliant, free-thinking artist in your studio, but when you get sick, you go to a doctor and you become part of the medical herd. You trust the experts. We all rely on external structures because we cannot be pioneers in every single aspect of human existence. Everything is a balance. We break ourselves trying to be unique 24/7, but it's okay to sometimes just exist within the system. You don't have to break yourself every single day. But there is a distinction to be made between existing in the system and being consumed by it. The herd offers comfort because it removes the burden of choice. It tells you what to like, what to hate, and what to value. To leave the herd is to accept the responsibility of defining your own reality. It is a lonely path, and it is a heavy one. Not every uniqueness is meant to change the world. Not every uniqueness is meant to even survive. But if you do possess that spark, if you have that unique vision that refuses to just consume, that refuses to just react, but actually wants to build a new piece of the cultural dome, then you have to protect it. You have to mold it into something that makes the pain of reality worth living through. If you have it, make it matter. Because the system will always try to absorb you. It will always try to turn you into just another consumer. This is a mechanism they've been perfecting for decades. There is a psychology behind why we so easily give up our dreams to join the comfortable, predictable herd. It starts by recognizing that you are not a judge, you are a builder. You are the one who decides what reality should look like for you. Start there and don't look back. Build your own dome, even if it is small. Build it and let the rest of the world be what it is.